When you get the mechanics right, cold email consistently beats paid ads for generating B2B and local service leads. We are going to build a complete cold email machine from scratch, a system that books calls on your calendar and actually funds its own growth. You only need two things to start: a clearly defined service to sell and a budget of about $300 to set up your infrastructure and your list building tools. We will step around the traps that usually kill campaigns on day one, such as burning your primary business domain or triggering spam filters with generic marketing speak. That initial $300 is a one-time primer. Once you close your first deal, that revenue pays for the next round of infrastructure, turning your outreach into a self-funding engine. Step 1 is tightening your focus. Your target audience needs to be painfully narrow. Move away from broad categories like plumbers and zoom in on exact criteria, like plumbing company owners with 1 to 10 staff doing $300,000 to $1 million a year. To build an ideal customer profile that works, run your audience through 3 filters: who they are, how big their team is, and what they make in annual revenue. When your list is broad, your language has to be broad. But because you know these specific owners manage exactly 1 to 10 staff, you can address the exact management friction that happens at that specific scale. When every person on your list shares the exact same size and the exact same headache, you can write one email that addresses their specific pain point perfectly. Hyper-specific targeting allows automated outreach to function like a one-to-one conversation. This hyper-targeted relevance is exactly what drives the high reply rates that make the rest of the machine completely profitable. Now that we know who we are talking to, we pull the list. You will use specialized scraping tools to extract hundreds of highly filtered contacts based on those exact parameters. Once you have that scraped list, there is a non-negotiable next step. You must run every single contact through an email verification tool before you send a single message. If you skip this, you will inevitably send to outdated or fake addresses, and those messages will bounce right back. High bounce rates create a causal chain that destroys your sender reputation. Email providers will flag you as a careless sender and route your future messages directly to the spam folder. Treat your list building and verification tools as a mandatory budget line. A perfectly written email is worthless if a ruined reputation prevents it from ever reaching the inbox. Step 3 focuses on infrastructure. A common failure point for beginners is sending mass cold outreach directly from their primary business domain. To defend your primary business, you buy secondary domains to act as expendable shields. If an outreach domain gets flagged, your main company email stays clean. This protects your deliverability. Before launching a campaign, you run these secondary domains through warming software, which sends and receives normal-looking mail for a few weeks to build trust with email providers. Even with warmed inboxes, do not blast emails out too quickly. Firing off hundreds of messages at once is exactly what algorithms look for to identify spam behavior. Instead, you manually dial down your send rate to a slow, steady trickle. This protects that warmed reputation you spent weeks building. Protected deliverability is the foundation of this system. Without secure infrastructure, every subsequent step is just shouting into a void. Step 4 is writing the copy. Aim for a single low-commitment reply. This initial response is the bridge that moves a stranger off email and onto a call. Use a simple structure: a personalized opening line, a very short body, and a soft call to action, like asking if your idea is worth a quick look. You must also avoid formatting traps. Eliminate long em-dashes and polished HTML layouts, as email algorithms flag these markers as machine-written promotional blasts. A single plain text email is not a campaign. Most people miss the first message, so automated persistence is required to get noticed. You need to build multi-step sequences. The data shows that the majority of your replies will actually come from the second, third, or fourth follow-up. Treating the recipient like a human being through simple, plain text, combined with timed automated persistence, is what pulls a busy lead into a conversation. Step 5 tackles the final point of failure: losing a hot lead at the exact moment they reply favorably. This usually happens because of friction. If someone agrees to a demo, handing them a 10-digit phone number and expecting them to manually copy and dial it introduces unnecessary work. Instead, you reply personally with a highlighted, clickable tell link, so the call starts with a single tap on their screen. Eliminating friction at the finish line is mandatory. Asking a highly interested lead to do extra administrative work is the fastest way to turn them cold before you ever speak. You now have a complete operational machine, a narrow list, protected infrastructure, plain text sequences, and a frictionless booking link. Launch the campaign and ignore the vanity metrics. Focus entirely on the two numbers that drive revenue, your positive reply rate and your total opportunities booked. When you close that first client, do not pocket the profit. Take the revenue from that initial close and immediately reinvest it. Buy more verified lists and warm up more secondary domains to expand your reach. The result of this reinvestment is an autonomous engine. The channel pays for its own expansion, creating a loop that scales as long as you provide the leads.